Lots of you may be searching for a producer or mix of your next single, EP or album pretty much right now. And my job today is to break down the common myths that prevent you from choosing the right professional for your successful recording and mixing process. I'll also explain what should actually matter to you during this. Hey, I'm Dr. Mark Trubetskov, mad scientist of metal, and I'm here to bring valuable information on modern metal production and mixing. Mate, like and subscribe to never miss it out. Let's go. Myth number 1. Go with a big name. Do not make the mistake that most of the metal musicians do. Do not go solely for the name in the industry. I understand the value of it. You are a fan of some albums that your favorite producer recorded, and these records may have even significantly influenced your music tastes and developed you as a musician. I get it, I'm the same. However, in most cases, a producer gets known by developing a certain sonic signature for a number of bands that grow with them in popularity, and that ultimately makes an impact. Think about the records done by Will Putney, Joey Sturgis, Joel Wanasek, The Machine, Colin Richardson, Jeff Dunn, and many others. All of these records have a unique sonic staple in common. That is the sound that the producer himself brings to the table. And now, unless you heavily fall into a certain niche within the genre, and as there are exceptions to any rule, you may end up sounding just like one of these bigger bands that your favorite producer recorded, rather than actually standing out. And that's the problem, because in this day and age of oversaturation, standing out is the one thing that your band needs in order to get recognized. You need the representation of your sound, not just a name attached to it. Name indeed may matter for labels, depending on circumstances, maybe a little bit, maybe a fair bit, but not so much for your actual fan base and listeners, and that's what will make your band grow. Therefore, I encourage you to think about how your favorite producer can help you to stand out rather than sound similar to the bands that they produce, and if they actually would be willing to do so. Myth number 2. Just go with my mate. This one is kind of the opposite from a big name scenario. Rather than being overly invested in the quality, some of you may actually be a bit more chill and kinda under-invest by recording with your mate. And again, all of these myths and advices, nothing wrong with them in a nutshell. It's all the overall circumstances and overall considerations that matter and change the picture. While I do understand the aspect of big trust with someone who you have known for a while and been friends for a while, that may actually prevent the bigger professional relationships and outcomes, as you may hang together in the studio less formally, therefore achieving less serious results. Again, think about what makes your band unique and how your mate could help emphasizing that aspect and whether they're willing to focus on that as well. Myth number 3. Gear and big studio space. I firmly believe that these days skill is everything, the absolute king. Therefore, dropping a major chunk of your budget on a massive recording space is simply not the right focus. It may work for some styles of music, of heavy music such as prog or post, maybe doom. Indeed, however, for the majority of modern metal, it's not the space or gear that would dictate the outcome, rather than its operator. And again, talking about unique sound here, only the right producer would make the gear tune into your needs and open up your sound. Here I'm speaking very much from my own perspective of acquiring some gear because I wanted a unique sonic signature for bands that I'm working with, only to realize that actually the skill is what will make the gear work for your music. Now, after kinda busting these myths, let's talk about what actually matters during the process of picking the right producer or mixing engineer for you in 2023. When looking for a producer or mixer in 2023, the first and foremost thing that you should be looking for is a genuine connection of that professional with your music. Jump on a call with them after sending your demos. See what they think of the music, what they like about it, how detailed they are in understanding your influences and your style, and whether they discover what makes you sound unique and click with it. And obviously, they actually check they had a good, detailed, thorough listen to your music. That's probably the thing that I shouldn't even mention, but unfortunately, it has come up in the past. So you should definitely pay attention to that too. The other things that clearly matter in my experience are the following. Their portfolio. You should like the work that this professional has put out for other artists. And this should roughly sit within your musical style. Some producers focus on a vast and diverse niche of music, whereas others do more narrow music style of heavy. And both are okay, but you should be able to find the music in their portfolio that simply resonates with you, both production-wise and sound-wise. Their social proof and credibility. Seek real reviews, ideally from the musicians that you yourself know. You can always reach out to them and ask for their experience with that professional and how the process of recording or mixing went for them. And finally, their professionalism. To me, it's a huge red flag if the producer or mixer constantly posts some wildly polarizing personal opinions on their social media or allows professional dramas to float away. It is almost inevitable for some tensions to occur throughout the career of one producer. Almost inevitable. Because in music, let's face it, we face some bullshit, both from band's perspective or sound guy's perspective. Unfortunately, that's just reality. But to me, it's the resolution that matters. And if there is no clear desire or intent to work things out in a professional manner, then you should know it and avoid it at best. So, to sum up, it's not the name, it's not the gear, it's not the mateship that matters when selecting a producer for your next recording or mixer. It is the connection and the quality of their work that matters. Now, at the same time, they may be your mate, they may be a big name, and they may have a gear and studio and everything included. But if they do not have a connection with your music, then it's a no-go in my experience. Please, let me know what you think of this. Comment with your recent experience of producers and mixers who you worked with, and whether it was positive or negative, and in which way. And I'm always here to help. Until next time, take care, rock on.